Welcome back to What We're Talking About. I am Michael Spencer. Facing me is Cheston McGuire. On to one of Cheston's favorite topics. Let's start with the NCAA.
Ooh. All right, I'm ready.
Unbelievable turnover that's happened this year.
It's ridiculous. I mean, going into the season, everyone thought that it was going to be, of course, Kansas, Texas, Kentucky is the 1, 2, 3. And so far, it's been that. All three have had a chance, but Kentucky and Texas were each only had it for a week. Texas lost twice. Kentucky lost once. Kansas is back, but I didn't think they were going to get there after Kansas State on Saturday.
Yeah.
Or during the game. I thought Kansas State was going to pull that out.
Right. I thought Kansas State was going to pull that out, too. We were all doing the KSU Wildcat chant at the bar, from what I remember. And
he's 21, 22.
22. Thank you. Yeah, I assumed if Kansas had won, they would be back at number one.
No, I figured. And there's no real reason why they shouldn't. I was talking to people about that. I mean, everyone has one loss, and why should Kentucky, just who has more recent? But Kansas did go to Tennessee and lose to, I guess, at the time, number 11 at home. And so that's nothing to be embarrassed about, whereas Kentucky lost at South Carolina unranked. So
right.
I have no real problem with that. I got a problem with Kentucky dropping to 4 in the AP poll, or the AP poll, behind Syracuse and Villanova.
I think Syracuse is a very freaking good team.
They are. I think they're gonna have a tough time getting through the Big East.
Well, anybody's gonna have a tough time getting through the Big East, no matter how good you are.
No, I think so. I mean, when you have three top 10 teams in West Virginia, Syracuse, and Villanova, but I don't. Syracuse just hasn't proven anything to me so far. They don't have really that outstanding win on their schedule yet.
Yeah, it was North Carolina.
Yeah, and at that point, you thought it was. And same with Kentucky beat North Carolina, but now it's like, well,
right.
Congrats.
Right, yeah. As a North Carolina fan, I was sitting there like, okay. I can suffer a loss to 3 top 5 teams. And then it was the College of Charleston and then UVA by 15.
UVA spanked them. I was shocked.
Awful. And it's gotten so bad at Carolina right now, Roy doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He basically threw up his hands. He was like, how does it get any worse?
Not making the tournament this year. That's how it gets worse, and I think it could happen.
I think it could happen, too, and it really pains me to say, because I kept thinking, they're going to turn it around. They got 10 games left. 6 of them are on the road. Not going to help. They've lost their last 3 at home. They got Duke next week, February the 10th.
Is it next week?
Yeah, it's next week. And I think it's, that's going to be a rough game. And because, let's be honest, Carolina's taken care of Duke the past couple of years, and I think Duke guys want some revenge.
Yeah, and while I don't think Duke is worthy of a top 10 ranking right now, they are much better than North Carolina, and they should put a beating on them.
But this is kind of typical, and you're kind of seeing it in Pitt, in Louisville. The teams
UConn,
the teams that did well, they lost some players. They've got some young guys, but they're just not gelling right. As a Carolina fan, I go back to 2003 when you had Felton, McCants, May. They were all freshmen. And I was like, you know what? I got chills in 2003 watching them, thinking to myself, gosh, if these guys can just get a few years under their belt, they'll be great. 2005, they win the championship. 2006, not a great year, a big drop-off for the Tar Heels. They had Frazier and Hansborough come in. The very next year, though, they had Lawson and Ellington come in, and you were like, okay, you got that same feeling again. You had Green. You got that same feeling again. Last year, they win the tournament. I get the same feeling now. Carolina has 3 guys that are a senior or a junior. 5 freshmen and 4 sophomores.
Yeah, no, they have the good buildings of a young team, but you would still think that...
You would still think they would play a heck of a lot better and wouldn't lose by 15 points at home to Virginia.
Lose at College of Charleston. I mean, it's just they have some ugly losses, and losing players in the NBA is going to hurt you after you can only take a beating so long.
It's the same thing with Pitt. I mean, you look at Pitt, they lost DeJuan Blair, they lost LaVance Fields.
Sam Young.
That hurts.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so much you can do after. That's why basketball is cyclical. Kansas next year, probably not going to be as good, losing Aldridge, Collins, Xavier Henry, at the very least.
And it's not like in college where you have those guys for 3 years, because you got underclassmen that are going to leave as well.
Kentucky's at risk of losing 3 players, maybe even 4.
Right. And 3 of them are freshmen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're probably all going to be lottery picks.
Yeah, I was listening tonight, and they were saying that they're probably going to have 1 and 2 pick, and that would be fun to watch. But then it's like, oh,
what do you do next year?
Right.
And it hurts.
Has 1 player committed to him right now.
Exactly, and it hurts, and that's just the way it is, and that's part of the rules with the one and dones. But I think you just have to adapt to that, and they're going to be down years. You're not going to be great every single year.
Well, here we are, a couple years removed of the requirement of players not leaving directly high school to go pro. Do you think it's been good for college basketball or bad?
That's debatable. I mean, it really is. I can see both sides. I think you're helping the kids out more than you're helping the colleges. And I think when they instituted that rule, the NBA didn't care about the colleges. I think they sort of said, oh, yeah, colleges, this is going to help you too because you're going to get good players. But in the back of their minds, they didn't really care about the colleges or how they felt because I think the colleges knew that this was going to hurt them.
No. Well, maybe, but I think I can say it would help college. I mean, would Texas have been as good right now if they hadn't had Kevin Durant and been able to build off that?
No, but you get that one and done though. It's going to hurt Kentucky next year.
Maybe players say, "Well, I can go there for the 1 year and do that." I think it helps some programs. Why has Memphis been so successful? Because they know they're going to get the one and done guys, and they go and they do well, and you can replace them with another 1 year.
I mean, and because they illegally recruit.
I don't believe so. Derrick Rose took his SATs.
But really, like I don't think it's been helpful to colleges. I think colleges would rather commit to the guys. You know, you look at Lute Olson. It screwed him at Arizona when Brandon Jennings said, "Forget it, I'm leaving."
Well, he was not smart enough to get in.
Well, and part of that, but then there was he got upset about that. He got upset after was it Bayless? After somebody left after a year,
Jared Bayless,
and he came out and he said, "I'm not recruiting any more one and dones because it's killing my program." You're not the only people who, well, not the only people, but one of the schools who does it the best in building up their team is Duke.
Yeah,
because Krzyzewski basically cons those guys into staying for at least 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Usually it's 3 or 4. But you look, and even Corey Maggette said it after he left his freshman year. And Krzyzewski's wife came out and said it felt like Krzyzewski had been slapped in the face by Corey Maggette.
Well, I think the interesting thing about it is I can't think of, maybe you can think of any one-and-done team that's won, like a team built around Kevin Durant, Michael Beasley, that's won the national championship.
No.
They've all been with the senior leadership or at least junior leadership of good guys.
Exactly.
Closest was the Odin Conley, Daquan Cook, and that was 3 great guys.
Right.
But they still fell short.
But they still didn't get it done. You look at the teams that have won the championship the past year. Carolina, Florida, who did it with juniors and seniors. It's that upperclassman leadership that's going to lead you to that. And so programs are hurting when they get one-and-done guys.
Some ways, but I think at the same time, you're going to make a little bit of money, and that's what the programs are all about. I mean, you want to get the guys through college, but you're still making your money by getting a one and done. You're selling tickets, you're getting fans.
And I think it's actually helping the players to go to college because then they realize they're not as big of hotshots as they were in high school. Some of them are,
well,
yes.
That's why I do like the rule the most, that you're not getting these Kwame Browns. You're not getting those guys anymore. You're getting guys that are ready for it.
The guys who fall out of the NBA because they weren't ready. And they go to college and they see, oh, you know what? I'm not nearly as good as I thought I was. The scouts aren't over them anymore, and they finally learn their lesson. And I think that may help, whether they get their college degree or not, whether they make it to the NBA or not. At least you don't have kids going to the NBA flopping. You have franchises wasting millions of dollars on them.
Well, you still don't get flops. I mean, you'll get college guys that flop.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to get college guys that flop. But if they go to college for 2 and 3 years,
you got a better idea of it. High school footage can only show you so much. I've seen high school games, and when you have that one really good guy out there,
he stands out.
He's going to look great.
Of course he's going to look great. You know, Jim Rome had a saying when LeBron was coming out, he said, you can't call yourself a king just because you dunked on 5'10" white kids with pimples on their face. You know, and that's true. I mean, it's a little harsh because it is Jim Rome, but that's absolutely true. You're facing better competition, and for some guys, going to college is a reality check.
Yeah, I mean, Randolph Morris, he still hasn't done anything, but he could have been the number 2 pick right after Dwight Howard, everyone said, went to Kentucky, then tried to go after freshman year, didn't get drafted, finally went after 3 years and got the equivalent pay, because he was a free agent technically, of a number 23 overall pick. Was it good or bad? I don't know, but I just think that had he gone out early, he probably would end up be pretty bad right now.
Exactly, and he would have. He lost out on a couple millions of dollars, but you saved that franchise, and maybe you helped him say, okay, yeah, I couldn't be a high lottery pick, but you know what? After my NBA career's over, I got 3 years of college under my belt. Yeah. All I got to do is go back and take 30 hours, and I'll be a college graduate. Hey, we got to run. That basketball section was all about the NCAA. When we come back, we'll touch on the NBA and then touch on some other stuff, too. It's what we're talking about.